Shine Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, aka Mama Bear, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading for Tuesday, June 29th. Oh, great googly moogly. Let me get the housekeeping out of the way, and all I'm going to say is don't shoot the messenger for this message today. But forewarned is forearmed, and we're going to make light of it all that is happening for you on this Tuesday, the Sacral Chakra Day. And you're going to come out the winner. Let me tell you right now. Oh, yes. So housekeeping. I hope you like the free content that I produce here for you, or we produce here for you. And you will consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, hitting the little ringy dingy bell thingy, and getting all of the notifications. Also, if you would be so kind as to share the videos that you like with your friends, your family, on your social media. The idea is to spread the animal allies messages far and wide and just get the whole world in a better place through working and getting in deeper relationship with animals and Mother Nature. And finally, get thee on over to my forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums. And other than yesterday, today, and the next couple of days, as I wrap up this thing that I'm, it's just magical, but it's wowzers. I won't be on the forums very much, but I promise I'll make up for it. Other than, of course, well, actually, I'll probably be on the forums when I go pick up the cats. Those of you that were at the live yesterday know that Mama Bear is driving to pick up 2 new kitty cats. Long story, watch the live from Monday and the magic will unfold. So without further ado, let's get going. Because there's a fair amount to unpack, and this message today is no joke, y'all. It is no joke. So let me just be out with it. The fly, as the 5 of Swords, has shown up for you all today. It's upright, and fives in the traditional tarot card meanings, of tarot, which is what the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is what I read from, is based on, which is the very traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. And even though it does work with the animal allies and all of, spirit totem and power animals and all of their amazing symbolism and meanings and messages and omens, it still retains those tarot card meanings. And so 5s are, they're tough. They're tough. But 5 of Wands is, let me just cut to the chase. Y'all, Molly, you in danger, girl. And I hate to put it like that, but truly, all I could hear this morning when I was shuffling and focused on y'all getting the message, because that's what I do. I set the intention of getting the message that's best for all, but certainly for most. And all I could hear was watch your back, watch your back, watch your back. And I thought, well, what does that really mean? And poof, out, I don't know why, out popped the fly, but it did. And nobody's going to die. But, it is when that card popped out after what was showing up to me psychically, I was like, okay. So I sat with it for a few minutes, and I am really just told that probably every one of you are in a situation where you've got to watch your back. That might mean that you've got to watch your own back for your own self. Maybe you're in a spiral where you are just really, repetitively repeating old patterns that are self-destructive behavior. Okay, you got to watch your own back. And flies, they have miraculous seeing. They just have these giant bulbous eyes, and they really can see in back of them. So of course, when watch your back came up, made total sense, right? But along with watching your back for your own self, I really do feel like, goodness, I'd love to take a poll. Please put in the comments if you are in a situation where you just feel like you really have got to watch your back. There's a family member, there's a supposed friend, there's a colleague at work, there's yakety schmackety, and you're just like constantly on red alert looking over your shoulder. Well, here's the thing. Here's the good news of that. Your spidey senses are way more attuned. They're way more tapped in than whoever it is that you're trying to watch your back over. And once you align with fly energy in medicine, sit back and relax, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You're going to know, like the hair on your back of your neck is just going to be like, zzz, it's going to stand up straight, and you're going to know. Mostly how you're going to know, other than that, is I kept hearing really literally from flies. I joke a lot about sending black flies, a swarm of black flies to, fly, my pretties, fly. I joke about sending them to, especially those dadgum trollers and those scammers that get on our lives, but they've gotten a lot less recently. And so I'm pretty inclined to believe that the black flies really did show up to them, and because the numbers have been like 1/100th of what they used to be. So all that being said, you can just tap into fly energy and allow, well, here's what we say here, right? Like, you step out of fly to be yourself. You don't really invoke fly from within inside of you. You are the fly, and you step out of fly to be whoever it is that you are as a human in this lifetime. Okay. So then you start to talk about the Five of Swords, and the meaning that just this weaves into this, and this weaves into this, and this weaves into this. And then I'm going to get to the rest of the message, and you're just going to be sitting there with your jaw dropped, but go ahead and shut it. You don't want to attract flies. I had to, y'all. My mom used to say that to me a lot. So I had to say it. So here's the thing. The Five of Swords in the traditional tarot card means, if you take a look at it, it's, it's this old boy, and he's picking up some swords, and it's like, it's fighting for what you want, but are you really going to get the outcome that you're thinking that you're going to get or that you want? And so sometimes it's better to pick up the sword, but not use it. Like, you can just pick up the sword enough that it sends a message across to whoever you want to get a message across to. And just like flies, sometimes you don't hear them coming. And what really this is all about is, you want to pick and choose your battles. Meaning, when you take a look at the symbolism, that's a sneaky snake goes dancing kind of fella with that smirk on his face and his comrades. Look, it's cowardliness. Okay. This is all about cowardliness, because this guy is willing to just, in the tarot card. Okay. In the Five of Swords tarot card, he's just willing to win at all costs. If that means cutting off his friends, cutting off his family, cutting his off and doing go this. And this card wouldn't be any better if it was inverted, because pride goeth before the fall. Now, it's kind of hard to fault a fly for just getting in your space and in your face and just irking the Peewallican jazzies out of you, and you're chasing that thing around, and that thing sees you coming 1,000 miles away, and it's like, it's zigging and it's zagging, and it's like, I swear I hear them do that. And by the time you try to catch this poor old fly, there's chaos in your house, you're panting and you're sweating, and you're still no closer to getting that fly, because the fly doesn't want to die. Just try to capture it and tote it outside. And I'm telling you, you just hold a little mason jar up to that thing. Well, first of all, a fly is lucky in my house if they live, because I've got the Fangoria family, and man, if anything living other than who is supposed to be here, they're more ferocious than my dog. Okay, she's a Chihuahua Terrier mix, part pot-bellied pig too. She's not all that ferocious, but you get where I'm going with this. And flies are tenacious. They are tenacious D for real. And I think this is, no, it was B that came out before, not so long ago. But a lot of insects have been showing up lately. I don't know about in your world, but I bet you're seeing a lot of spiders, a lot of flies, cockroaches, just the insect world. Termites, God forbid you're getting a termite, but just really try to not freak about the insects, because they are powerful messengers and you can learn a great deal from them. So for instance, in this case, let's say that you've got a family member that's just totally doing stuff behind everybody's back, and you know about it. Do you really want to fight that battle? What's it really going to end up costing you and the rest of the family if you do? That may not be so pretty. And so you don't want to win at all costs. It's just enough to be aware of it, that it could be coming for you, or it is coming for the family, and just, you just know, and then you're prepared for it when it happens. Or you could pull that person aside and go, listen, sport, okay, I know what time it is. You really want to do that? Because we can just settle this in silence and you can stop your shenanigans, or we can just go have a meeting with the whole family and see what it is that they do, or however you want to handle it. But getting into a full-on, flat-out kerfuffle, not recommended at this time. Now, I don't know why Spirit led me to, there's something about fruit flies. I just kept hearing, look up fruit flies, look up fruit flies. I didn't know why, but wouldn't you know? My favorite website, Mental Floss. I just love them. They don't have an article about flies. Oh, no. They've got an article about fruit flies. let me tell you some of the things that fruit flies offer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put a fruit fly onto something, because this takes fly symbolism and meaning just to an entirely different level. Here's one of the first things about them. They live and they die quickly. So whatever this situation is, even if it's been going on for a long time, it's going to die out pretty quickly. As long as you work with the Five of Swords and you work with, flies, the spirit totem and power animal, and let them guide you into what's going to be the best way for you to handle this. So that's the good thing. So you really do need to watch your back, but it won't last for very long. The next thing is, it's insanity. Wow. So dig this. Humans and fruit flies, not flies, but fruit flies, are genetically similar. And I'm going to read this to you from Mental Floss, because I was like, that makes so much sense. A whopping 75% of the genes that cause disease in humans are also found in the fruit fly. What? Really? But that's why fruit flies can model human disease. Now, as you know, I'm really not a fan. Let's just say I abhor it. Medical testing or any kind of animal testing, I don't care if it is a fly. It is abhorrent, and I stand against it. So I stand against it. But when you flies that eat a lot of sugar, which they crave and they love, they'll exhibit symptoms of type 2 diabetes. No joke. And researchers can genetically modify fruit flies to mirror a variety of conditions. And so the other thing that I want to point out is that you don't shoot the messenger, but you may be the fly. Like, you may be the one annoying the mud out of people, or just won't stop. You just, naggy, or just will not stop. You've got to get your point across no matter what. And I don't think you can fly as fast as an actual fly can. So if somebody goes to swat you, you better have an exit strategy all in place. But it really is a call. This is a call for you to take a good hard look at yourself and be like, am I causing that? You might be. I don't know. We all do when we even don't want to, even if we're trying to be like super conscious of it. You can just, you've seen the memes on social media. Today is not the day and I'm not the one. This might be your day. This may not be your day, and you might not be the one, and you just may be, okay. So all of that being said, here's the other cool thing. I don't know why this didn't occur to me. I don't know why. Well, because everything is meant in the most divine moment. And so crazily enough, I keep talking about this investment thing that I'm learning about. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. I give it like 10 minutes a day, every other day or whatever. I desperately want to learn about it, but it's not something I invest a lot of time in. But lately I've been hearing, the obvious thing: sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low. And I'm like, why does this keep coming to me, right? Here's why. It was all building up to this reading on this Tuesday with the sacral chakra all up in its business. And okay, listen to this, y'all. Fruit fly chromosomes resemble barcodes. What? So when you want to talk about selling high and buying low, and now you bring fruit fly energy into it, it's really about sell high. And what that translated to in my psychic mind was flies said, you don't ever sell yourself short. You are a treasure. And if you're going to sell it, you just make sure that you always get what you're worth. It doesn't really have anything to do with selling so much as it has to do with getting what you're worth, which, as we know, is priceless. The other thing is buying low. Don't you do that. Now, if you're talking about, buying a car or a house or whatever, that's one thing. But don't buy a house or a car or whatever, or anything where you're just only interested in the price, because you can work with the animal allies to get what you really want. That's it. Again, if you bought low and it wasn't what you really were dreaming of and what you truly wanted, you'd be selling yourself high, or not selling yourself at the high, and you'd definitely be buying on the low, and no good is going to come of that. That said, don't buy people at the low either. Don't just settle for what people hand you. Don't like, and this has got everything to do with having to look over your back today. Don't just take any kind of old stuff that people dish out to you. That's buying at the low. Don't do it unless there's an upside for you. I don't recommend it. It never works out very well, and it's kind of manipulative, and I don't recommend that either. But, you know, maybe you're at a time where you have to, you know, be with somebody during their low, but that's not the same thing as buying them when they're low, not when they're down or out, but if they're a low caliber, if they are detrimental to you or to your, you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. So it's one thing to help somebody in need, but it's a totally different thing to bring somebody in your life or with any kind of permanency, and they are just like, how low can you go? How low can you go? And so you might want to be singing you might even want to be like limboing over somebody or under somebody to get out from, you know, just see how low they really are. You know, I'm a big fan of Criminal Minds. Lord, I think I've watched that series now about 4 times. I'm fascinated, and I learn something new with it every day, every time. And I just am really fascinated lately with the questions that they ask people that might seem outlandish, but they're asked for a certain reason. I really feel like that's what when you're like, how low can you go? How low can you go? It's something like that. You're going to be able to easily uncover how low they actually can go. And that's not going to serve your purpose at all. So I really hope that was helpful. I think there was one more thing I just wanted to point out about the fruit fly, because this just absolutely floored me. Listen to this. Flies in general, but in particular male fruit flies, listen to this, y'all. Sexually rejected male fruit flies will also drown their sorrows. They will self-medicate with alcohol. I just had to share that. I don't even know that it has anything to do with the reading today, but it just struck me so dang funny. And this is according to a study with in the journal Science. I've got to believe they're pretty credible, but they've been, the reward circuitry in a fruit fly's brain is very much like a human, and they get a really, that pleasure boost from drinking alcohol. In particular, they may turn to it for lots of similar reasons, as humans do, to feel better. Especially, you listen to this. This is another study done by the University of California in San Francisco, found that the male fruit fly, who had been rejected by a female, would drink 4 times as much alcohol as the mated flies. So if you're thinking about any kind of mating, oh my great goodness, find out how much that old boy drinks before you get all involved and buy low and don't sell yourself as high as you should sell. And I just really have to, I can't even go in about how fruit flies get the best drugs. That's not a path that I go down, and I don't recommend it at all to anybody. But man, it's just, y'all, please just Google fruit flies and mental floss. You will laugh, and then you'll be like, that's so relevant. It'll blow your mind. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so very much. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the ringy dingy bell thingy. Please share my stuff on your social media channels, emails. You know what? Like, do a fire signal, right? Whatever. Send out a smoke signal. But it's really very helpful if you do. And of course, get on over to wildpackwisdom.com/forums. We have all the good fun over there and all the super deep stuff. If you want to know something about something, we're over there. But what's the most important thing today and every day? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.